We have had several crime dramas featuring drug dealers and heroic cops, but never have we heard about the concept of an alien drug dealer involved in the scheme of things. This is where the movie Dark Angel, also known to many by the name I Come in Peace, becomes so special with its unique story idea. Featuring the popular action hero Dolph Lundgren, the story delves into his adventures as he tracks down a killer drug-dealing alien from outer space who is overdosing humans in order to create a superdrug for his own kind. The sci-fi crime drama featuring a badass villain is an underrated gem, and in this video, we'll dive into the details of the alien drug dealer and his anatomy. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. How is Talic, the drug-dealing alien, introduced in the movie? When Dolph Lundgren is the protagonist, you need someone big enough to make it believable that he is being challenged. This is where Matthias Hughes is the perfect casting as Talic, the evil alien entity who works the drug ring. He's even bigger than Dolph Lundgren and has an imposing screen presence. Before we delve into the details of Talic, it is important to give you some context regarding the story. It starts off with a rule-breaking Houston police detective, Jack Caine, who is determined to wipe out a gang of posh drug dealers known as the White Boys. He won't let the paperwork and police procedure prevent him from delivering justice, and his resolve becomes stronger after the death of his partner caused by this gang while he was busy stopping a convenience store robbery. The White Boys are led by a vicious leader, Victor Manning, and their next daring move involves stealing a shipment of heroin from a federal evidence warehouse. They blow up the facility after the act, and many are killed, which brings the FBI into the picture. Jack Caine is now partnered by FBI agent Smith, who prefers to go by the book, and it becomes a typical buddy cop movie premise from here on. Together, they take down several members of the White Boys, and they also try to unravel the mystery behind the drug theft. Meanwhile, there are some bizarre drug-related deaths, and Caine's girlfriend, who happens to be a coroner, reveals that the cause of death is a puncture wound to the forehead and the corpses are full of heroin. This is when the presence of Talic is first indicated. The cunning alien entity is extracting something from the victims of drug overdose, and he is stalked by another alien called Azeck, who wants to bring him in for his crimes. We then see the two aliens come head-to-head with each other, and Azeck tracks Talic to a supermarket, where they end up in an intense duel. Azeck is severely injured, and he somehow manages to sneak into Caine's car when he and Smith are investigating the bloody aftermath of the battle. The detective duo is ordered off the case by their superiors, but finding Azeck in the backseat of their car changes their perspective. Azeck tells them all about Talic and his evil scheme. It turns out that Azeck is a cop from his home planet, and Talic is a notorious drug dealer who shoots his victims full of heroin in order to extract endorphins from their brains. He then synthesizes this into a drug called Barcy, which is highly sought after on his home planet. Azeck also warns the detectives that if Talic is not stopped soon, he will be an example for thousands of other alien drug dealers to follow, and the population of Earth will become an easy target for them. The people on Earth are regarded as a cheap source of Barcy, and endorphin is quite a rare find in the rest of the galaxy. After passing on this valuable information on Talic and the drug dealer, Azeck dies and his body cremates itself. He leaves behind his powerful handgun, and Smith and Caine develop a difference of opinion regarding their next course of action. Smith wants to pass on the gun to his FBI superior, but Caine is not so trusting of him and wants to hand it over to his own supervisor, Chief Malone. Smith gets away with his decision, and the two detectives go separate ways. How is Talic finally defeated? Once Smith hands over the weapon to his FBI supervisor, there's a crucial twist in the narrative, and we discover that the FBI already knew about the aliens. They plan to use Talic to develop weapons and gain technological advantages, and there is an attempt to kill Smith to wipe out any evidence. Caine arrives and saves him just in time, and after taking down the corrupt superior, they track down Talic to an industrial complex. The White Boys are also there, seeking revenge for their fallen members, and just as the detectives are about to fight the gang, Talic shows up and kills all the remaining members of the White Boys. Smith forces Talic to retreat by using Azeck's weapon, but the detectives are in for some tough luck as the weapon runs out of charge. Talic is about to kill Caine using his drug harpoon, and a scuffle ensues between the two as Caine grabs a vial of the synthesized Barcy drug. They fight in a fierce hand-to-hand encounter, and finally, Talic is impaled on a steel spike. He's still not dead, and Caine performs the final rites by using Talic's weapon, which is similar to that of Azeck. He shoots nearby drums of fuel and causes a massive explosion that seemingly kills Talic for good. The end of the movie suggests that the alien threat has been dealt with for good, and Azeck's mission has been completed. No other alien will find out about the Earth and the easy target for Endorphin, because Talic will never go back to his home planet. Now, with the ultimate danger averted, Caine suggests visiting Manning, the leader of the White Boys, in order to end the drug ring for good. What are some of the deadly weapons used by Talic? It has been indicated multiple times in the movie that Talic comes from an alien species that is presumably more advanced than the humans, and this is also evident from the kind of weapons that they use. We've seen Talic use several advanced weapons, but his main weapon is the deadliest of them all, a killer disc. This disc is tuned to the human pattern of electromagnetic impulses, and this makes it fly around and cut through all living humans that it can find. The machine only stops when it gets stuck inside a magnet, and it is potent enough to take down multiple opponents in the wink of an eye. Talic's handgun is also quite unique, and is capable of firing rapid explosives that are powerful enough to destroy a car. Even Azeck has a similar weapon, and the detectives use it briefly against Talic until it runs out of charge. The retractable blades on his right arm are also very dangerous, and these blades are used to suck out human endorphins. It is a crucial tool in his drug-dealing scheme, where he synthesizes the endorphins into Barcy for his own kind. The left hand of Talic has a huge mechanical bladed whip, and this is used to inject heroin into his victims. He also tries to use this on Caine during their final encounter, but the drug harpoon doesn't work, as he is impaled and subsequently killed in an explosion. What is the appearance of Talic like, and why is he an invincible opponent? The first thing that you will notice about Talic is his towering height, as he stands above 7 feet tall. His defining features are his long blonde hair and white eyeballs that make him appear all the more menacing. He is usually dressed in black, and he is always geared up for action. The weapons and tools he possesses are potent enough against human opponents, and normal bullets and regular hits from human weapons are completely ineffective against him. We've already explored his weaponry in detail, but even without the weapons, he packs quite a punch. During his climactic battle with Dolph Lundgren's detective character, he is clearly a lot more powerful, and he is only defeated after he is outwitted. Luckily for the humans, he's not immortal, as we see in the final moments when he is killed after getting impaled and caught up in an explosion. Is Talic from a species of evil alien creatures? How is he different from Azeck? Talic is unquestionably the bad guy in the movie, and his main goal is to harvest human endorphins to synthesize it into a drug that can be sold on his home planet. Humans are no more than expendable resources for him that should be exploited, and there is no moral ambiguity in his evil character. However, to dub the entire species as outlaws and drug dealers would be wrong, because Azeck, who tries to fight him, also comes from the same species. Azeck is a law enforcement officer, and he wants to prevent the exploitation of humans and mass killings. He also has in mind that the Earth should be protected from further invasions that are imminent if the news of Talic's successful drug venture gets out to the other drug-dealing aliens. While Talic does not shy away from using violent and lethal methods on anyone that stands against him, the good alien Azeck is focused on minimizing harm and ensures that no other humans are affected by Talic. He loses the battle against Talic, but even in his dying moments, he is sensible enough to provide the detectives with valuable information on the whole situation. It seems like Talic is just one of the rogue entities of his species, and just like humans, not everyone is perfect on his home planet. What are some of the interesting theories around the origin of Talic? The movie doesn't really specify the details of Talic's background, and much of his origin story is ambiguous. But that hasn't stopped the fans from theorizing, and there are some very interesting ideas floated around his supposed backstory. One of these ideas is focused on Talic and Azeck coming from an energy-based life form, and this idea gains ground because of the nature of their deaths. They erupt in explosions after death, and it's almost like a self-incinerating machine that burns away their physical energy once they are dead. Even some of the hits inflicted on Talic results in sparks, and it adds to this theory. The technological superiority is unquestionable, and the species has rogue elements like Talic who have a mind for criminal ambitions. It has never been laid out in the movie, but many have assumed that this was not Talic's first trip to the Earth, and he has done this before on several occasions. Can we consider Talic to be an intelligent alien species? Talic is not just a brute powerhouse, but he is also quite intelligent and tactical, which makes it even more difficult to kill him. Firstly, the idea behind his drug ring is fascinating, and it is quite interesting to use endorphins in the creation of a drug that will be appreciated on his homeworld. For those who don't know, endorphins are responsible for all kinds of heightened senses of happiness and euphoria, and it would be a magical drug to the world, where people do not secrete this hormone. Secondly, he manages to keep his cover for a pretty long time, and it's only after Azeck's arrival that his true reality is out in the open for the detectives to understand. Moreover, the fight sequences show his intelligence and tactical nature. He knows how to hold someone hostage for his advantage, and he also does not shy away from fighting dirty. Moreover, he has mastered the language of the humans even though he speaks very little and usually lets out grunts. He is capable of understanding conversations, and he even anticipates the next move of the detectives as best as he can. You can almost imagine Talec to be a predator-like alien creature, only with a lot less honor and better looks. Will we ever get a sequel to this movie? Over the years, Dark Angel has become a fan favorite, especially among genre buffs, and this cult classic deserves a sequel. Even the story has room for a detailed sequel project, where we can find out more about the alien species and their intentions. However, several attempts to come up with a sequel have faltered in the past. During the immediate years following the release of the movie, there were plans to get a sequel on board, but nothing ever materialized in over 2 decades passed. Later, in 2016, Matthias Hughes announced that he was working on a potential sequel, but even this report went cold over the years. A few years later, a look featuring Hughes in the familiar attire was leaked, and fight coordinator and martial arts actor Mike Mahler seemed to be involved as well. But nothing has been confirmed officially, and we just hope that someone is discreetly working on the sequel. However, we still wonder how Matthias Hughes can be in the mix of things, as he is clearly killed during the events of the movie. Unless, of course, the next in the franchise is actually a prequel project. We can also get some crucial information about the alien species if it turns out that Talec survived the explosion and getting impaled. As long as the sequel doesn't get stuck forever in the production coma, we will have the answers someday. Marvelous Verdict, a criminally underrated alien action masterpiece. When we think of Christmas movies, Dark Angel, aka I Come in Peace, is not something that immediately pops up. But we can assure you that the movie can be a very entertaining festive drama. The fun and simple plot is helped by a lot of stunts and explosions, and we all love to see Dolph Lundgren in action. His partner, FBI agent Larry Smith, played by Brian Benben, is the perfect contrast to his character, and we have to spare a special word for the alien criminal Talec. Matthias Hughes is 7 feet tall and looks like a pro wrestler, which makes it realistic that he can give Dolph Lundgren a hard time. The direction is handled by Craig Redding Baxley, a famed stunt coordinator turned director who has delivered action classics like Action Jackson and Stone Cold. We would have loved a more detailed backstory of Talec, but overall, the neat entertainment package is a must-watch. Unfortunately, we never had a sequel that the movie deserved, and it remained criminally underrated, even with the perfect content. Do let us know in the comments below what you think of this unique alien species, and also share your views on the story of Dark Angel and the nature of the alien race that uses humans as raw materials for their drugs. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe, and thanks everyone.